Good morning, YouTube. What is going on? Welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Now, today's video, we're going to be doing a full day of eating. Now, I've not done a full day of eating for a little while on my page, so I thought it was about time that I get one out to you guys. Now, I'm not going to lie, I am probably in the shape of my life right now. I'm 33 years of age. I feel fitter, I feel younger than I ever have done. Honestly, guys, I'm literally into my early 30s, and I feel younger than when I was in my early 20s. And that's because of the way that I've adapted my training over the last sort of year or two, but also my nutrition, guys, has pretty much been bang on point for 10 years, all right? And that's nothing to be sniffed at. Of course, I have days or times where I'll eat out, or even last weekend, I had a Five Guys with Ellie, but I haven't had a Five Guys for about 6 months. And this is the thing, guys, people say to me all the time, like, how do you stay in shape all the time? How do you get motivated to eat good food all the time? The food that I eat, I genuinely love the taste of. But not only that, like I mentioned to you guys previously on my YouTube shorts, when I get out of the ice bath, I don't look forward to doing the ice bath. I look forward to getting out of the ice bath and getting that feeling. The same goes for nutrition. Even though I do like the food that I eat, what I love the most about the food that I eat is that how it makes me feel and how it makes me perform and how it helps me recover. And that's what you got to think about. You got to tap into that side of things as opposed to, oh, I'm eating chicken and rice again. Even though I don't just eat chicken and rice, guys, and that's the thing. I have a great diet, I have a great balanced diet, but I know sometimes I could take it to the extreme where if I wanted to, I could eat plain chicken and rice for lunch every single day. I can eat eggs every single morning for breakfast. And I can have steak and sweet potato and broccoli for dinner. And I can have that every single day because I love the taste of good food. Now, when people come to me and say they want to get in shape and ask me how I can stay in shape, first things first, it's harder to get in shape, all right? It's easier to stay in shape. So that's the first thing you've got to do. You've got to understand that it's not going to be like this forever. So the first initial 12, 16 weeks of your fitness journey may be very difficult. But once you get to that point, it's going to be so much easier to stay in shape. Now, a lot of the time when people come to me, guys, the first question I ask is, how much are you moving? Because I think most men would rather move more than drop their calories down super, super low and be hungry. You know, earn every single meal that you have in a day. That's exactly why I bought myself a treadmill. I've moved out to the countryside from London. In London, I was averaging 18 to 25,000 steps every single day. It was so easy. But I class steps as completely different as doing cardio. You know, I don't do 5,000 steps in one go in London, but I do, you know, nearly 4,000 in one go here. You know, at the same speed on a treadmill, it feels different, especially with a hoodie on, sweating, I'm out of breath. That to me is a lot different. Now, a lot of people will get 8 to 10,000 steps in a day, and that's okay, it's a good number. But if you start upping that to 12 to 15,000 a day, you're already going to start to see a big difference and a lot of benefits, not just because you're moving more, and motion is lotion, but let's say you don't change anything to do with your diet, but you do an extra 4 to 5 to 6,000 steps every single day. Across the course of the week, that's a lot more steps. You're going to have better digestion. You're probably going to feel more energized. You're probably going to recover better from your training because your cardiovascular is getting better. There's so many benefits of just literally moving more. And that's the first thing that I can say to you guys is, if you're starting out a journey, forget too much about the food initially because you're not going to go from one extreme to the other. Just move more. The first thing I want you to do for the first week or two is move as much as you possibly can. But anyway, guys, this is going to be a full day of eating, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. There we go, guys, 45 minutes in the bag in the morning. Now, I have been telling myself I'm going to try and do 45 minutes in the morning, and then I'm going to do 20, 25, 30 at night, but I haven't been getting time in the evening, guys. Depending on how early I get in here, I have a lot of work to do and I have meetings to jump on in the evening as well, like from 6 onwards. And sometimes the last thing I want to do is come do cardio. But 45 minutes, sometimes I do an hour on here, depending on what I'm going to do in the day. But 45 minutes to start the day. Let me give you a physique update. You have to excuse the hair, guys. It is in the morning, no products, but anyway. There's the update. Feeling pretty good right now. I'm weighing 91, 92 kilo. That can drop to 90 though, quite quickly. Even sometimes below that. Feeling pretty shredded as well. Like, honestly guys, I'm not even tracking my calories right now. I did like a 4-week mini cut. I must have finished that 4-week mini cut though, probably 3 weeks ago. Yeah, easily, because I did the 4-week mini cut before I went to Canada, to Banff with Alphalete. So since then, I've not tracked a single calorie, but I will be tracking every single thing I eat today. Now, I know what I've been eating food-wise, because I eat the same stuff pretty much every day. The only thing that may change is lunch or dinner, one of the two. Only one meal a day. So I have the same breakfast every day, and I have the same yogurt bowl in the evening. But sometimes Ellie may be cooking food, and I'll just eat that for lunch, or vice versa. She'll do it for dinner, and then I'll eat it for dinner. Portion sizes have been a bit more relaxed, but like I mentioned, guys, I've just been moving more. The Sunday before, I woke up and I decided to run a half marathon. I ran 21.4K, which is actually over half a marathon. The half marathon time was 1 hour, 45 minutes. I love the fact that I can be 90 to 92 kilo and go and run a half marathon, and it was fasted as well. Don't get me wrong, the last 3K of that half marathon felt like 12K, and I was absolutely blowing. But I can't tell you how good running makes me feel, and I'm gonna try and keep up with doing sort of 10K a week, because it just makes me feel great. And obviously, if I'm a bit more relaxed throughout the week with food and not tracking and just eating a bit bigger portion sizes, those extra calories that I can burn on a long run are gonna massively help that. So I'm definitely gonna be keeping up with it. Right. I'm gonna go head in, shower, get ready for the day, and then it's breakfast. That is literally my morning routine every single morning. Now, the only thing that may change is that I may do an ice bath before I do anything, but I only do that 4 or 5 times a week now. So today, we're not doing an ice bath in the morning. Potentially may do one in the afternoon, depending on how I'm feeling and depending on what I've trained today. It's actually leg day today, so I know what I'm training today. But super simple morning routine, literally 45 minutes cardio. Ghost greens and the creatine normally go in before my walking. However, I'll tell you the reason as to why I've started doing cardio in the morning, guys. Now, I had a colonic the other week. I told you guys in a video a few weeks ago, which basically sucked all the shit out of me pretty much. And since then, I've really worked on helping my digestive system. And the first thing in the morning is the biggest key is moving. Moving first thing in the morning, that helps. It's on the regular now. As soon as I finish that, I have to literally get off the treadmill and run straight to the toilet, which is absolutely perfect. Ghost Greens is just going to help. Obviously, it's a pre and probiotic, which is going to give you. It actually offers 10 billion CFUs, guys, which is crazy, all right? Which is obviously going to help with gut health and the overall. When you wake up in the morning, guys, and you feel like shit or you feel good, whatever you feel. It all comes from the guts, and gut health is so often overlooked in the fitness industry, and that's one thing that I can honestly say you need to get down to a T. I don't have coffee with milk ever. It's just pure black coffee. That helps as well to help you go basically. But with the creatine and the Ghost Greens going in the morning, I then have a black coffee which I have every single morning, and I don't think too much about those myths about you can't have coffee on an empty stomach or you shouldn't have caffeine prior to 30 minutes of waking. I mean, I've done that for years. To be fair, I've been up for over an hour, so I've actually haven't done that today. But yeah, this is my morning routine. It's so simple, it's effective, and I absolutely love it. And sitting here in silence, guys, in the morning is another key to my day. Oh, and you might be wondering what that is on my nose. Now that is a nose strip. Now I run in these all the time, but I also sleep in them. And because this morning, I'm actually testing this one out. This is a new brand that I've been sent out a couple of tins, and I was testing it out. This is not coming off. Normally in the night, some of them sort of start to come off. This one's still on, so I thought, you know what? I'll leave it on. I'll do the cardio. I can probably take it off now. But definitely worth getting these, investing. I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll put the brand on the screen. I don't even know how to say the name of the brand. I think it's Fdoe. I'm not sure, but I'll put the brand on the screen. Right, gang, we are going to make some breakfast. We're going to start off with eggs, as always. Let me get my fitness pal up. These eggs, guys. I tried having different eggs and I just can't do it anymore, which is not a good thing because these are like quite expensive. I normally have 6 of them at a time, and I am going to have 6 eggs today as well. 6 eggs, that's quite a lot of fat. 31 grams of fat, 44 grams of protein, 474 grams of carbs. Of protein, no carbs, 0 carbs. And I'm going to work out what I'm going to have afterwards. I am going to have some carbs for breakfast because normally I don't. Normally I leave it way until like later, but I'm going to train pretty much straight after this breakfast. So I am going to have a piece of sourdough as well. Okay, so some of you may be asking why I don't typically have carbs for breakfast. And the reason that is if early in the morning, I mean, I don't eat that early in the morning. I mean, I'm eating my first meal of the day at 11:31, which is later than I normally do. Normally I'm around 10:30, 11. But let's say I woke up in the morning at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and I have breakfast at 7:30, 8 o'clock. I really want my first meal to be just proteins and fats, because if you have carbs, obviously that's going to have an insulin response, right? It's going to spike your insulin levels due to the fact of carbs, etc., giving you energy. However, what it can do as well, it can suck amino acids out of your muscles pretty much, if that makes sense, apart from one of the amino acids, which is called tryptophan. Now, tryptophan is basically a precursor for serotonin, and serotonin can obviously make you super tired and basically more chilled and zen. If you do that in the morning, I just feel like you can have like a massive slump and you can just sort of feel tired. Whereas obviously if I do it now, it's not that early, I'm wide awake, I've already done my 45 minutes cardio, it's going to have a different effect because I'm going to have some carbs, some energy, and I'm going to utilize those carbs and energy when I'm training. So that's the reason why I kind of stay away from carbs in the morning for breakfast. Typically just have 6 whole eggs, proteins and fats, but we're going with probably 2 slices of sourdough this morning, along with my 6 eggs. And I'm not going to have any almond butter or peanut butter because I've got 6 whole eggs, and that's a lot of fat already. So that's what we're going to have for breakfast. So let's get cooking. Say hello to everyone. Come and say hello. You heard me making eggies, didn't you? You heard me making eggies. Right, guys, meal number 1. 6 whole eggs, a little bit of sea salt on there, or pink salt actually, and 2 slices of sourdough. I'm not going to put any butter on the sourdough because I put some butter in the eggs. And that's it. That is meal number 1. Calories and macros will be on the screen. Let's go crack this in. Let's go and get this in, and then we're going to go train legs. And like always, guys, don't forget to take your vitamins. So digestive enzyme, ideally before you have the meal, which I've just had a couple bites, so we'll do that now. Vitamin C, these are 2 capsules per serving. And then fish oil, 2 capsules again. Always get a good quality fish oil, guys. These ones are from wild mackerel, anchovy, and wild sardine. And then to top it off, the multivitamin, just to pretty much cover all areas. 3 per serving. Again, make sure you're taking all your vitamin tablets, guys, on a full stomach. We are back from training legs, guys. Absolutely brutal leg session in the bag. I really fancied doing Bulgarian split squats. Says no one ever, but anyway, I did. So we did 4 sets of 10 each side on Bulgarian split squats with a 40 kilo dumbbell. And then I thought, you know what? Let's just kill myself off. And then we did a superset straight in to bodyweight walking lunges. Absolutely brutal. Anyway, your boy's hungry, so let's cook lunch. Here she is, sports fans. Where have you been? Show me. Show me, stay still.
Not good lighting.
They're the same.
Why have you not got the light on?
Don't know. Right, guys, so it's actually Ellie's grandma's birthday today. She's 91 years of age. So, look, we've got to get on the good side of grandma, haven't we? But listen, so I've put this meal into 2 portions because I'm honestly not that hungry right now, for some reason. So 2 portions of food, exactly the same in each. Well, if they're not, they'll still be tracked over the 2 meals as whatever it all is, if that makes sense. So one's going to go in now, and I've also made a nice bowl of fruit for some extra carbs. But obviously the carbs you get from a peach and kiwi are completely different carbs you get from rice and potatoes, etc. I've only got 250 grams of rice from a packet as well, which I don't normally do, but I'm doing that today. Half in each, so 125 grams in each. And to be honest with you, once you weigh it out after it's cooked, it's actually less than that. So not a lot of carbs. Normally after training, I always say try and get a decent amount of carbs in, so you probably want a whole packet. But to be honest with you guys, I feel pretty good. I don't feel like I need too many carbs, and I'm trying to get a little bit leaner, so I'm just dropping those carbs a little bit. Plus, I had a couple of slices of sourdough before I went and trained today, which wasn't that long ago. If I'd had carbs slightly earlier, I probably would have had more carbs with this meal. Do you know what I have been loving recently, guys? I don't know why, because I don't particularly like sauces. However, for some reason, this burger sauce, American style burger sauce from Heinz, is pretty special. I don't have a lot of it. I just put a little tiny bit like that. And that is all we need. So this is gonna be meal number 2. And I wanna just quickly talk about something, guys. So I recently reinstated my Whoop, which I had one about 2 or 3 years ago. I think it was 2023, so 2 years ago. And I reinstated it. This is actually the new version. This is the MG version, so medical gradient, which basically means you can track more things. And I've always said this, guys. I've always said you can't really overtrain. And well, you can, but a lot of the people in this world cannot overtrain. It's kind of impossible, really. I always say that you don't overtrain, you under-recover. And I've just proved my point, because 2 weeks ago on a Sunday, I ran a half marathon. Prior to that, I'd been training a lot. I'd probably only had one day off the week beforehand. And since my half marathon 2 weeks ago, which is going to be on 2 weeks on Sunday pretty much, I've not had a single day off since then. I know I should rest more, but I love training. I feel great. I do so much with recovery. I eat so much good food that helps me recover. I get great sleep. I do ice baths. I do hot baths. I do stretching. I do so much in a week that's going to help me recover, which is why I'm able to train like I do. Now, when I say I haven't had a day off, it doesn't mean I haven't just been to the gym. I've done a lot of runs in between as well. So if I've ran, I haven't gone to the gym, etc. But since that day, I've not had a day off, right? Which is nearly 2 weeks, and then the week prior to that, so nearly 3 weeks, I've had like 1 day off. I woke up this morning and my Whoop score is 97%. And that just proves my point that you can't really overtrain. And that's another reason as to why I wanted to reinstate this, because I wanted to see what that would say. Because you'd think 3 weeks with only 1 day off, it may say you need to take a rest day, etc. But clearly I don't, because the amount of ice baths that I've done, which I also track on the Whoop. I've had 2 or 3 hot baths in the last week as well, which is unlike me in the summer because it is too hot, but I wanted to just track it on this because you can track it again. You can see what happens with your heart rate, and then obviously your recovery then goes up, which is exactly what I want. And obviously last night I had 8.5 hours sleep, which has really helped me. So honestly, guys, I think you should definitely give this a go. There's a link in my description, which is completely free to use. So you can use it free for a month. You haven't got to pay a single penny. And if you want to keep it going, of course, then you go into a subscription, but you could try it for a month for free. I definitely recommend doing 30 days, seeing how you get on, seeing if you like it, seeing if it makes you go to bed earlier, seeing if it makes you train harder when you're in the gym, because you can track your strain. You can track golf on it. You can track everything on this Whoop, guys. It's incredible. And I feel like if you have something that you can track all that, you're going to try extra hard to get those numbers in the position where they should be. So in the green, pretty much. I mean, I'm striving to get 100% sleep. I haven't got 100% sleep yet. I think I've had 98, which is not bad. But it does tell you on here, again, if you go to bed at a certain time tonight, you're going to get 100% sleep if your alarm is at this time. So it is quite cool. It really makes me want to go to bed early and try and get those numbers up. Anyway, right, I'm going to smash this food in, and then we've got to head off to Ellie's grandma's. Delicious. Yeah. Right, gang, it is time for my evening snack. So like I mentioned earlier, the 2 pots of food that I ate, one was for lunch and one was for dinner. Didn't film that, so I'll put the calories and macros on the previous screen as well for both meals. And we're now going to finish the night off with a bowl of yogurt. Now, I do this meal every single night, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm not actually that hungry tonight. So I'm not going to send myself to bed feeling super, super full. So I'm not going to have a huge amount, but let's make my famous yogurt bowl. So we need yogurt. Oh, I'll tell you what I have just spotted though, that Ellie made today, or we made these actually. We made homemade peanut butter cups. I might have to get one of them out and have one of them. We also need frozen berries. I much prefer frozen berries than fresh berries because honestly, you can never find good fresh berries in the UK. We're then going to need a little bit of peanut butter, but not too much because we've had quite a lot of fats this morning. And I'm going to have some dark chocolate chips. It's going to be a super basic yogurt bowl tonight. Doesn't need to be anything mad. And obviously, of course, we're going to add a scoop of protein powder in as well. Now, I'm telling you now, guys, I've had a lot of yogurt bowls in my time. And the best protein powder to mix with your yogurt is the peanut butter cereal milk from Ghost. The reason being, I wouldn't want a milk chocolate or any sort of chocolate with my yogurt. It just doesn't work for me. The cereal milk one is good, but the peanut butter cereal milk, it's basically just cereal milk, I'm guessing, with a bit of peanut butter powder. So it gives you that peanutty taste anyway, so you don't need to go overboard with the peanut butter. Therefore, you can save a few calories. 1 scoop of that's going to go in. Let me make this now, and I'll run you through the exact calories and macros. Of course, I've already got one started. Whoa. And that, my friends, is how you make the perfect yogurt bowl. So I've got about 250, 260 grams of natural Greek yogurt, which is actually 5%. Ellie doesn't like the 0% one, but she likes the 5% one. It honestly tastes no different to me. I've then got, I always track raspberries and blueberries anyway, but there's absolutely no need. I mean, 100 grams of blueberries and raspberries is something like 27 calories. Like, I don't track that normally. I've got about 15 grams of dark chocolate chips there. I've got about 15 grams of peanut butter. And of course, 1 scoop of the peanut butter cereal milk. As you guys know, code Kieran will save you 20% on your entire Ghost orders. Make sure you go and get yourself this flavour. And while you're there, go to the creatine bundle and go and get yourself a creatine, digestive enzymes, vitamin C, and the fish oils. That is going to be a game changer. It's about £70, I think, with my code for all of that, as in the bundle. If you don't want to spend £70, just get the creatine. The creatine's about £19, I think it is. But guys, go and get yourself creatine, because you've got to have creatine every single day. I have it every morning with my greens, or sometimes I'll have it actually with my pre-workout or my during drink. There's no real time that you need to take creatine. However, if you think about it, if you go to the gym and you've just taken creatine and you're pumping blood to the muscles, that's going to take the creatine there quicker. So you can take it in and around training, but once your muscles are saturated with creatine, you don't need to worry about what times of day you take it. But anyway, this is going to wrap up my last meal and my full day of eating. Of course, I'll give you guys a taste test, but while you're here, guys, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we are on the way to 10,000 subscribers. Oh yeah. Sensational.